Thanks for joining us for CBN News Today. I'm Charlene Israel. Today, almost 70% of the country is covered in snow. The U.S. hasn't seen this much snow this early in the season in more than 10 years. And while the storm that has hammered the Northeast is finally letting up, forecasters say the freezing temperatures will be sticking around.
Most of the Northeast is waking up to a slushy mess today. Tuesday's storm dumped as much as 7 inches of snow in areas from Virginia to New England.
I worked in it for 35 years in the snow, in the airport, so it was horrible.
In Washington, D.C., schools, government offices, and many businesses shut down for the day. While they're back up and running today, many travelers are still trying to get home after flight delays in several major airports on the East Coast.
I'm really upset because really I don't know when I'm going to leave here.
People generally angry also, a little frustrated, not knowing what was going to happen.
And the roads aren't much better. Overnight cold temperatures cause many to freeze over again, making for dangerous commutes.
It's very hard to stop even with anti-lock brakes.
And dangerous winter conditions out west led to a search and rescue mission in Nevada. A family was stranded in sub-zero temperatures for 48 hours after their car flipped in the snow. Rescue teams say they built a fire to stay warm until help arrived.
We were all great, warm. All the kids were in good spirits. Mom and Dad were happy to see us.
Forecasters across the country warn drivers to be careful on the roads and, if possible, to stay home until they're cleared. Caitlin Burke, CBN News.
President Obama is applauding a bipartisan budget deal aimed at avoiding another government shutdown. Republican House Budget Committee Chairman Paul Ryan and Senate Democrat Patty Murray announced the agreement Tuesday evening. The plan raises military and domestic spending over the next 2 years. It would also ease the sequesters across-the-board budget cuts in Pentagon spending, shifting them to other programs over the next decade. It also raises fees on airline tickets to pay for airport security. Ryan said that while the deal isn't perfect, it's a step in the right direction.
This agreement makes sure that we don't have a government shutdown scenario in January.
Because of this deal, the budget process can now stop lurching from crisis to crisis.
The House is scheduled to take up the deal this week, followed by the Senate next week. John Thune, one of the top GOP leaders in the Senate, tells CBN News he's taking a wait-and-see attitude toward any sort of budget deal. He says just because a tentative agreement has been reached, it doesn't mean it's the right solution to get the economy growing again.
It looks like it would increase spending for a couple of years in exchange for some savings that would be achieved in future years. And I think what's going to be really important for a lot of Republicans is what are those savings and are they meaningful, and is this something that's a good trade-off? There's this huge philosophical divide, very difficult to bridge, and what that I think means is it's going to be hard for us to get that big grand bargain that everybody talks about, because in order to do that, we would have to basically concede a big tax increase to the Democrats, or they would have to allow us to do something meaningful on the spending side.
And you can see more of Senator John Thune's interview with David Brody by going to David's blog, The Brody File, at cbnnews.com. President Obama's approval rating has dropped to a new low, and his negative ratings are dragging down other Democrats, too. A new poll from Quinnipiac University shows only 38% approve and 57% disapprove of his performance. He's lost a lot of support from independents, Hispanics, and young voters. And Obamacare is having a negative impact. Only 34% approve of how he's handled the health care issue. For the first time this year, more voters say they'd pick a Republican over a Democrat in a generic race for Congress. And 47% say they want the GOP to control both the U.S. Senate and the House. 42% want Democrats in charge. One Michigan county may have to cut back on its firefighting force because of the Democratic health care law. The Grand Traverse County fire chief says Obamacare will force them to provide health insurance to part-time firefighters who work enough hours. He tells WPBN TV he doesn't know where he'll get another $70,000 to pay for that. So he may have to cap the number of hours part-time firefighters can work. But he says, quote, "The last thing I want to do is go to an employee and say, you've met your hours for the week. You can't come on an emergency." And that would hurt not only them, but also would hurt us when we need people to respond on calls. Not only will many people not be able to keep their doctor under Obamacare, they may not be able to keep their current medicines either. That's according to Forbes magazine public health and regulation analyst Scott Gottlieb. He writes that the problems stem from the structure of Obamacare itself and how the different plans work. He points out many drugs may not be covered at all. You can find his analysis by going to CBNnews.com. The president's foreign policy is coming under fire after signing the Geneva Accord with Iran. Many of America's traditional allies are asking if America is losing its influence in the Middle East. As Chris Mitchell reports from Jerusalem, the consequences are already rippling through the region.
After Geneva, many Middle East experts see a stronger Iran, a weaker America, and a region teetering on the brink.
So we in the Middle East, we in Israel, and as I see in the Arab press, because this is my business, to follow Arab press, they are confused and they don't believe anymore in American influence in the region.
For decades, American influence acted like a rudder steering events in the Middle East. Now, many Mideast experts, like former Israeli ambassador to Egypt, Zvi Mazel, believe the region is losing its way.
The Middle East lost its compass, you see? In the old times, there used to be the Soviet Union and the United States, but now everyone goes his own direction.
The perception is that America will not be here around for long, and Iran is the coming superpower.
A major change in U.S. Mideast policy is the attempt to turn Iran from an adversary to a friend.
It's not completely friend yet, but I'm saying it's on the way too. I believe this is what President Obama sees, that there will be a dialogue with Iran and there will be relations with America, and Iran will become a good boy, a good student. We don't believe it.
The diplomatic courtship with Iran and the perception of waning U.S. influence have led to shifting and unprecedented alliances in the region. Since many Mideast nations see Iran as an existential threat, the Gulf states are considering uniting for their own self-defense. And both Egypt and Saudi Arabia have reached out to find another ally besides the United States.
There is now a dialogue between Saudi Arabia and Russia. It doesn't happen every day.
Can you believe it? Saudi Arabia. Prince Bandar went twice to Moscow lately.
Pincus, Mazel, and others now see the Middle East with America retreating and Russia advancing.
Putin is really a very happy man. Everywhere where America is going away, he's coming in immediately.
Mazel warns Russia's comeback in the Middle East is just one consequence of U.S. Mideast policy. He also warns if Iran does get a nuclear bomb, it would be the beginning of a Mideast nuclear arms race. Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
In Africa, hundreds are dead as a sectarian conflict between Muslims and Christians is escalating. It's even prompting the international community to step in. George Thomas has more on the brewing storm in the Central African Republic.
1,600 French troops are on the streets of the Central African Republic, trying to put an end to clashes between Muslim and Christian fighters. The Red Cross says more than 460 people have died since last Thursday, many of the victims children. 2 French soldiers were also killed when they came under attack during an overnight patrol. The fierce fighting has forced some 20,000 people to take refuge at St. Paul's Church in the capital city, Bangui.
We have the impression that some people want to provoke Christians and Muslims to fight with each other. But we say no to this. We advocate tolerance, respect.
Central African Republic is a landlocked nation surrounded by some of the most dangerous places on earth. CBN News visited the country 2 years ago.
Since gaining its independence back in 1960 from the French, the Central African Republic has endured some 11 mutinies, numerous rebellious movements both in the north as well as in the south. And today, it is one of the poorest countries here on the African continent.
The government of the Central African Republic Republic, a predominantly Christian country, was overthrown in March by Muslim rebels who looted, raped, and killed for months. Despite the presence of French troops who are trying to disarm the militias, there's still plenty of pent-up rage on the streets. Late Tuesday, a mob of young men, reportedly Christians, set fire to a mosque in the capital. The Archbishop is appealing for calm and asking Christians not to carry out revenge attacks against Muslims.
I am asking Christians to seek peace, to seek pardon, and not to enter the cycle of vengeance that will not be good. Justice exists. I invite everyone to stay calm.
Despite having substantial natural resources like gold and diamonds, most people here are poor, and the country has seen little stability in 5 decades. On Monday, the U.S. military agreed to transport African Union peacekeeping troops to the country to try and end months of instability. George Thomas, CBN News.
South Africans and world leaders celebrated the legacy of Nelson Mandela Tuesday. Now one of South Africa's leading evangelists tells CBN News he believes the gospel profoundly affected Mandela's outlook as he re-entered politics after his years in prison. Michael Cassidy says Billy Graham asked him to visit Mandela back in 1992 after Mandela wrote Graham after leaving prison. Cassidy says he personally took a signed copy of Graham's book, Peace with God, to Mandela.
I remember him telling me, that when he was in prison, he never missed Bible study or church service or something like that. I was very impressed by that. I personally like to believe that the Christian gospel informed also his responses. It wasn't just pragmatic politics, but that there were principles here in his heart and soul and mind that he had come to believe were right.
At Mandela's request, Cassidy went on to network with other church leaders to press for reconciliation both before and after Mandela's election in 1994.
He was saddened by the fact that there were sectors of the church which had given either explicit or implicit support to the apartheid system and had legitimized it theologically. But it was not lost on him that the church was a very important player in the whole process whereby apartheid was brought to an end.
Cassidy says Mandela told Graham in a letter that he was touched by one of his TV broadcasts while in prison. Coming up, the book topped the bestseller charts. Now Hollywood is turning it into a major motion picture. Our exclusive look early at the promotional trailer for the movie Heaven is for Real.
Hi, my name is Breda. I'm just your typical 9-year-old. I love singing, dancing, reading, discovering the simple truth. My grandpa says you're never too young or old to learn the value of a dollar. He taught me the true value of this paper dollar. You see this little gold coin? It says $1 on it. But guess what? That was a long time ago. Today, this gold dollar is worth over 100 paper dollars. This paper dollar is now only worth 1 penny compared to America's former money, the gold dollar. My grandpa says the only money worth saving today is real money, gold or silver coins. He's pretty smart. How our paper dollars lost their value, he says. It's all explained in a new book, The Great Debasement. It's easy and fun to read. If you call the number on the screen, I will send you a copy totally free. Next time, I will explain the simple truth about money.
Millions of Americans with an ostomy live their lives to the fullest every day. And over the last 10 years, thousands have chosen Liberator Medical as their caring and reliable resource for ostomy supplies. Liberator Medical is a nationally accredited Medicare, Medicaid, and insurance provider, so we can handle all your Medicare, Medicaid, and insurance paperwork and billing. And Liberator Medical has been chosen as a preferred supplier by all the leading ostomy manufacturers, including Coloplast, Hollister, Convatec, and Generics. We supply all these leading ostomy brands so you can always get the ostomy supplies and accessories you want and trust. And all of our ostomy care specialists are product certified by the manufacturers. Shipping is free and discreetly delivered right to your door. Unhappy with your present ostomy supplier? Call Liberator Medical and ask about our free ostomy sampling program. We also offer catheters and urological supplies.
Call 1-800-513-3076. That's 1-800-513-3076.
A nativity display at South Carolina's Shaw Air Force Base was quickly removed after complaints from an atheist organization. Volunteers from the base chapel set up the display near where an annual tree lighting ceremony is to take place. But less than 3 hours after the Military Religious Freedom Foundation logged a complaint, the display was removed. An Air Force spokeswoman says officials are trying to determine the proper placement and arrangement of a new display that reflects more than a single group. It is legal to say Merry Christmas in public schools in Texas, and the state is making sure everyone remembers that. The state legislature gained national attention when it passed the measure this past summer. The bipartisan law also protects symbols like Christmas trees, menorahs, and nativity scenes, as long as more than one religion is represented and a secular symbol like a snowman is on display. The Republican who sponsored the law says it is intended to keep censorship out of Christmas out of public schools. Conservatives are hoping similar measures will gain momentum across America. Well, Oklahoma leaders say Satanists will not be allowed to erect a monument at the state capitol. A spokesman for the New York-based Satanic Temple wanted to donate a statue and put it next to a monument of the Ten Commandments. But legislators say that plan is far from reality, and members of the committee that would need to approve the monument sounded skeptical. Senate President Pro Tem Brian Bingham says such a display at the Capitol would be inappropriate. The book Heaven is for Real was a #1 New York Times bestseller, and it will soon be a major motion picture. The book tells the true story of how 4-year-old Colton Burpo had a near-death experience in the operating room and later told people that he had been to heaven. CBN News got an exclusive early look at the promotional trailer for the movie, which is coming out next year from TriStar Pictures.
We need to get him in surgery right away. The pain that I suffered watching my son that close to death.
We're in trouble here. He's much worse. Will you call some friends and pray for him?
The hospital staff said that your son was not expected to survive. Use the word miracle.
Your son had a near-death experience.
He saw things that I can't really explain.
I lifted up and I looked down. Mom was in one room, you were in another room yelling at God.
He's been out there staring for hours.
Is something wrong with Colton?
Why do you say that?
Sometimes he says weird things. I've been here.
I don't think we've been here before, pal.
You had a grandpa named Pop, right?
He died when I was about your age.
He's very nice.
You saw my grandfather? Where did you see him?
In heaven?
Is this him? Is this the man you saw?
No, in heaven everybody's young.
Is this him?
Yeah, that's him. That's Pop.
I want to believe him. But everything he talks about is impossible.
You saw heaven? What does it look like?
It's beautiful.
We all want to be supportive, but we can't have our town turned into a circus.
They don't believe me, do they?
Some people might be afraid to believe.
Don't you think we need to be talking about this life?
Do you think my son went to heaven?
You don't have to worry. He told me everything was all right.
He's making a difference.
You can see the full trailer for the movie Heaven is for Real on CBNnews.com. Up next, he's the senior Homeland Security advisor for our country, but his beliefs will shock you. Stay tuned for more.
Attention sleep apnea patients. Are you tired of the expense and hassle of getting your CPAP and BiPAP supplies? Are you fed up with dealing with ill-fitting, leaking, or worn-out masks and straps? Are you worried about the effects that unsanitary tubes, cushions, and filters have on your health? If you said yes to any of these questions, Allied Medical Supply Network has the solution to your problems. You could qualify to have your supplies regularly delivered right to your door at little or no cost to you. That's right, no more inconvenience, no worn-out masks and straps, no more unsanitary equipment, just restful sleep. Call Allied Medical Supply Network today to determine if you may qualify to receive your fresh, brand-name supplies at little or no cost. Don't delay. Call us now to see if you are eligible to save money on regular delivery of your CPAP and BiPAP supplies. Call 1-800-815-9947. That's 1-800-815-9947. Or go to cpapsupplyhelpline.com.
Announcing an important breakthrough in healthcare that can benefit everyone. If you or anyone you love needs affordable health insurance, regardless of a pre-existing medical condition, call Quick Insurance 123 today and get the immediate relief you deserve. Quick Insurance 123 was created to provide affordable health insurance to all uninsured Americans, with or without pre-existing conditions. This is not a discount card. This is a real insurance program that lets you choose from many affordable health plans, with access to doctors, hospitals, emergency services, and more. So call the number on your screen now and get the health coverage you need just for calling. As a special bonus, we'll send you a free prescription savings card that could save you up to 85% on your prescriptions. That's right, you could save up to 85% on your prescriptions just for calling. Call Quick Insurance 123 to find out how you can get affordable health insurance and receive your free prescription savings card just for calling. Don't wait. Getting a free quote is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Call today.
Here's a shocker. According to a member of the Obama administration, the United States is an Islamic country, and he isn't just another bureaucrat. He has a senior role on the Homeland Security Advisory Council, and he's been tied to the Muslim Brotherhood. Eric Stakelbeck brings us this alarming story.
This provocative statement created a firestorm last month because of its contents and the author's government role. I do consider the United States an Islamic country with an Islamically compliant constitution. The tweet by Mohammed El-Biari raised eyebrows thanks to his senior role on the Department of Homeland Security Advisory Council, where he helps craft America's counterterrorism policies. It's a position one analyst says El-Biari is not fit to hold.
He goes to bat for the Muslim Brotherhood. He is passionate that they are the moderate good guys that the U.S. needs to ally with.
Ryan Morrow is a national security analyst for the Clarion Project. He's interviewed El-Biari at length and says the senior Homeland Security advisor staunchly supports the radical Muslim Brotherhood.
He had the symbol that was most closely associated with the Muslim Brotherhood from when the Egyptian military cracked down on them. All the Muslim Brotherhood supporters had a specific sign that they put up on their Twitter and their Facebook pages, and he was right along with them.
El-Biari has praised Muslim Brotherhood icon and al-Qaeda favorite Saeed Qutb and spoke at a 2004 event honoring Iran's Ayatollah Khomeini. In addition, CBN News reported in 2011 that El-Biari stood accused of leaking sensitive government documents to the media. In light of those charges, Texas Congressman Louis Gohmert pressed former Homeland Security Chief Janet Napolitano in a heated exchange.
Are you saying before this Congress right now that as Secretary of Homeland Security that it is a lie that Mohammed El-Biari downloaded material from a classified website using the secret security clearance you gave him? Are you saying that's a lie?
I'm saying that is inaccurate. That is correct. He, as far as I know, did not download classified documents. What bothers me, quite frankly, are the allegations that are made against anyone who happens to be Muslim.
Well, the allegations are not because he is Muslim.
It is still unclear whether any formal investigation of El-Biari actually took place at DHS. What is clear is El-Biari's recent promotion at the department.
In September 2013, he was promoted. So he not only is an official advisor, he's one of the select advisors within that group to influence policy.
El-Biari and the Department of Homeland Security did not respond to CBN's request for comment. El-Biari is not the only Obama administration advisor who's been tied to the Muslim Brotherhood.
There's lots of evidence. The President of the United States personally takes counsel from Mohammed Majid, and that means the enemy is inside the wire.
Majid has reportedly met with President Obama to advise him on immigration and counterterrorism policy. He also sits on a Department of Homeland Security working group on, quote, violent extremism. Yet national security expert Frank Gaffney told CBN News that the organization Majid leads has troublesome ties.
He is the president of the largest Muslim Brotherhood front organization in the United States, the Islamic Society of North America.
In 2007, federal prosecutors named ISNA as an unindicted co-conspirator in the largest terrorism financing trial in American history. The defendants were convicted of funding the terror group Hamas. Mideast Group was also mentioned in secret Muslim Brotherhood documents uncovered by the FBI.
The very first group on this Muslim Brotherhood strategic plan was the Islamic Society of North America.
Despite ISNA's radical track record, President Obama delivered a video address at the group's annual summit this year.
Assalamu alaikum, and congratulations to Imam Magid and everyone at the Islamic Society of North America on your 50th annual convention.
One leading Egyptian newspaper recently claimed that the Brotherhood is stepping up its efforts to infiltrate the United States. It identified what it says are 30 Brotherhood operatives that are currently conducting influence operations on U.S. soil. Eric Stakelbeck, CBN News, Washington.
Do you have an idea for an invention or a new product? Brian and Alice Jagosh, the inventors of the halftime drill driver, did. They invented a power drill attachment that lets you drill, flip, and drive in seconds. Brian and Alice licensed their invention to the company that brought you the Snuggie, and it's now selling in major retailers nationwide. Look for the Invent Help Caveman on the package. If you have an invention that you would like to try to patent and submit to companies for possible review and want free information on how Invent Help may be able to assist you, call now. Invent Help is America's largest inventor service company with sales offices in more than 60 cities nationwide. Call Invent Help today for free information. Our clients made a financial gain with their invention, but this is just their individual result. Brian and Alice's experience is not typical, as only a very small number of inventions are licensed or sold in stores.
For your free inventors information, call 1-800-559-8567. That's 1-800-559-8567.
If you had a choice between going bald and a full head of hair, which would you choose? Advances in medical science have resulted in the world's first and only permanent solution to hair loss.
Yes!
You wash it, you cut it. It's your own real, naturally growing hair. When it comes to hair restoration, no one in the world has more experience than Bosley. The results look completely natural and are affordable on nearly any budget. But the entire process can't be explained in 60 brief seconds. So to find out more about this clinically proven and permanent solution to hair loss, call now to receive your free no-obligation information kit. It'll answer all of your questions about hair loss and hair restoration. Plus, we'll also send you this $250 gift certificate just for calling. Every day you wait, you're losing more hair. So don't put it off any longer. You owe it to yourself to find out the facts. Choose hair. Choose Bosley.
Call 800-868-9957. That's 800-868-9957.
Finally today, more than 3,000 children attended a CBN children's event at a school in Cambodia. Some of the children walked or rode bicycles long distances just to attend. The program featured hosts from CBN's Super Kids Club. At the end of the event, more than 1,000 children filled out a response card confirming they prayed to receive Jesus. A local church that partners with CBN will follow up with the children and help them learn more about God. And that's going to do it for now on CBN News Today. You can find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about at cbnnews.com. Tell us what you think about the stories you've seen here today. You can do that on Facebook or at CBN News on Twitter. We hope you'll join us next time. Have a great day and God bless.
If you had a choice between going bald and a full head of hair, which would you choose? Advances in medical science have resulted in the world's first and only permanent solution to hair loss.
Yes!
You wash it, you cut it. It's your own real, naturally growing hair. When it comes to hair restoration, no one in the world has more experience than Bosley. The results look completely natural and are affordable on nearly any budget. But the entire process can't be explained in 60 brief seconds. So to find out more about this clinically proven and permanent solution to hair loss, call now to receive your free no-obligation information kit. It'll answer all of your questions about hair loss and hair restoration. Plus, we'll also send you this $250 gift certificate just for calling. Every day you wait, you're losing more hair. So don't put it off any longer. You owe it to yourself to find out the facts. Choose hair. Choose Bosley.
Call 800-868-9957. That's 800-868-9957.
Introducing the CBN Bible from CBN.com. Now, an easier way to study the Bible and grow in your faith. Highlight your favorite verse. Read separate versions at a glance. Click and read a commentary. Or cross-reference your favorite verse using the Strong's Concordance. All the right tools to study the Bible, all in one place. The CBN Bible, available at cbn.com/Bible or the iTunes App Store.